Have we been lied to about how Christianity began? According to one conspiracy theory, the Gospels that made it into the Bible were chosen by the Roman Emperor Constantine in the 4th century.
The idea that Constantine in the 4th century chose the Gospels that should be in the Bible really has a lot of evidence against it. We can go back to the early 3rd century and the late 2nd century and find places as diverse as southern Egypt, Syria and France, where the 4 Gospels are accepted. This is at a time when there is no central Christian power base, some place of supreme authority. You have a manuscript from southern Egypt, now in Dublin, from around the year 225. You have Tatian in Syria around the year 175, having the 4 Gospels rolled into one continuous narrative. You have Irenaeus in France around the year 185, saying that having the 4 Gospels is like having 4 winds, 4 cardinal directions. This happened before Christians had power. So we really need to take the 4 Gospels not as resulting from some great Christian power play, but some collection which I think were recognised because of their eminent authority, their credentials. Now, this idea that we should be having lots of other Gospels or that some other Gospels have been excluded from the Bible just simply isn't correct. There weren't other Gospels which were in the Bible and got removed. Some of the things that people talk about, like the Gospel of Judas or the Gospel of Thomas, and they say, why don't we have these? Actually, you just look at them and those books themselves exclude themselves from the Bible. The Gospel of Thomas begins by saying, these are the secret sayings which the living Jesus spoke and which Didymus Judas Thomas wrote down. It begins by saying this is a secret revelation. If you want to know the true message about Jesus, you need to come to the Gospel of Thomas. So that Gospel is saying, don't put me alongside 4 other Gospels. It's saying, I am the true Gospel. Similarly, the Gospel of Judas claims that the real message about Christianity was revealed by Jesus to Judas. And so you need to go to Judas. So you can't put Judas alongside Thomas or Thomas alongside Judas, and you can't put them alongside another 4 Gospels. They actually claim that the truth comes exclusively in them. So this idea that we can have lots and lots of Gospels in the New Testament simply doesn't work. And in the case of those Gospels, I think there's lots of evidence that they actually borrow from the 4 Gospels that we have in the Bible. They actually come from a later stage.
The 4 Gospels in the Bible were widely accepted from very early in the Church's history. They were already being widely circulated by the end of the 2nd century. By the time of Constantine in the 4th century, they'd already been accepted for almost 200 years. There is simply no way that Constantine could have chosen the Gospels. Next time, we'll look at one of the alternative Gospels that didn't make it into the Bible, the secret Gospel of Mark.